Welcome, traveler of the stars. Tonight, as you close your eyes and drift toward rest, allow me to take you on a journey far beyond the confines of Earth. A soft-spoken voyage through the silent presence that has accompanied humanity for eons, the moon. For all of human history, the moon has been our quiet companion, rising and falling with dependable grace, illuminating our nights and stirring our imaginations. But to understand its gentle gaze, we must begin at the beginning. Before there were myths, before there were names, before there were even eyes to look up. Roughly 4.5 billion years ago, our solar system was chaos. Dust, ice, gas, and rock spiraled around a newborn sun. In that celestial nursery, planets were forming, violent collisions shaping the rocky inner worlds and the gaseous giants farther out. Earth, still young and molten, had just begun to find its form when it experienced one of the most dramatic events in its history. From the dark void came Theia, a Mars-sized body born from the same swirling disk of matter as Earth. Theia, on its wandering orbit, collided with Earth in a cosmic impact of unimaginable scale. The force of that impact was cataclysmic. Molten rock and vaporized material were ejected into space, forming a debris ring that briefly surrounded Earth like the halo of a newborn god. This ring of matter, glowing, chaotic, incandescent, began to coalesce. Gravity, ever patient, began its quiet work, gathering pieces, binding them, shaping them. Over time, these fragments merged, cooled, and formed a sphere. And thus, the moon was born, not alongside Earth, but from it. The moon, then, is Earth's child and its twin, formed in fire, bound by gravity, and forever locked in a cosmic dance. For millions of years, the moon glowed red and molten, radiating heat into space. Its surface churned with volcanic fury, even as it slowly receded from Earth, pulled outward by the same physics that gave it life. The early moon was much closer than it is now, looming large in Earth's sky, its tidal pull immense, stirring Earth's molten insides and helping to stabilize its spin. Without the moon, Earth might have tumbled unpredictably through the eons, its axis unstable, its climate hostile. But the moon's presence gave us rhythm. It calmed Earth's wobble. It introduced tides, gentle, ancient breathings of the sea that may have nurtured the first life. In this way, the moon is not just our companion, it is a guardian. As the surface cooled, the moon began to wear its scars. Massive impacts from ancient asteroids and comets pockmarked its face. Some were so violent they cracked its crust, releasing vast flows of basalt that flooded across lowlands and solidified into what we now call the Lunar Maria, those dark patches that give the moon its familiar face. Billions of years passed. Earth blossomed with life. Civilizations rose and fell, and always the moon remained. It watched the first fish wriggle from water. It saw the rise of the forests and the flight of birds. It bore silent witness to the birth of fire, the building of pyramids, the falling of empires. It looked down on every lover, every philosopher, every dreamer who ever looked up. The moon, in its silence, holds memory, not just of us, but of the solar system's birth. Unlike Earth, which renews itself through erosion, weather, and tectonics, the moon preserves its wounds. Its surface is a museum of time, untouched by wind or rain. The same craters we see tonight are the very ones carved eons ago, and yet despite its scars, it remains serene. Its glow is gentle, its pull is quiet. It speaks in gravity and shadow. It lingers in our poems, our lullabies, our dreams. Tonight, as you breathe and listen, remember, you are sharing this moment with every human who has ever lived. The same moon they watched, you watch. The same light that touched their faces now touches yours. And so we begin, not with answers, but with awe. The moon's face is familiar, yet deceptive. At first glance, it appears simple, a dusty sphere of light and dark patches. But, like a weathered manuscript, its surface tells a far richer story. Let us move closer, not through rockets or probes, but through thought. Imagine standing on the moon's surface. The sky is black, even in daylight, for the moon has no atmosphere to scatter sunlight. There is no wind, no weather. The silence is profound, so complete it humbles the soul. Underfoot, a fine powder clings to your boots. This is regolith, lunar soil formed over billions of years by micrometeorite impacts. Every tiny particle that strikes the moon is unimpeded by air and strikes with pure cosmic velocity. The result is a surface of shattered rock, dust, and glass, ground down through relentless bombardment. The bright highland regions, rugged and ancient, are composed mostly of anorthosite, a pale reflective rock formed in the moon's early molten days. These highlands are older than any landscape on Earth. They've endured for over 4 billion years. The darker plains, called Maria, are vast basaltic fields, frozen seas of lava that welled up from the moon's interior after massive impacts. They are younger by lunar standards, mere billions of years old. Together, these contrasting terrains create the man in the moon we see from Earth. Though different cultures have imagined different shapes, a rabbit, a woman, a toad. Beneath the surface, the moon is surprisingly complex. Though it lacks plate tectonics, its interior once stirred. Scientists believe the moon has a differentiated structure, a crust, a mantle, and a small core. The core is likely iron-rich and partially molten, though much smaller than Earth's. It generates only a faint magnetic field, an echo of a once more active interior. Seismometers left by Apollo astronauts detected moonquakes. Some are caused by Earth's gravitational pull. Others are thermal, when the lunar surface expands as it moves from long, cold lunar night to searing day. These quakes reveal that the moon is not entirely dormant. It stirs softly in its slumber. Interestingly, the moon's gravity isn't uniform. Some regions tug slightly harder than others, variations known as mascons, or mass concentrations. These anomalies often coincide with ancient impact basins and influence the orbits of spacecraft, offering subtle clues about the moon's hidden depths. One of the great surprises of recent exploration is the discovery of water. Not flowing rivers or shimmering lakes, but frozen water molecules locked in shadowed craters near the poles, places where sunlight has never touched. These cold traps are ancient vaults, possibly preserving ice from comets or even from volcanic outgassing billions of years ago. The presence of water, however slight, hints at future possibilities. Water can be used not just for drinking, but for splitting into hydrogen and oxygen, creating breathable air and rocket fuel. It's no wonder, then, that many eyes are turning once more to the moon, not just as a relic, but as a stepping stone to the stars. And then there's the far side, the face we never see. Because the moon is tidally locked, it rotates at the same rate that it orbits Earth, keeping one hemisphere hidden. When spacecraft finally photographed the far side in 1959, it revealed a terrain even more rugged and cratered than the side we know, a reminder that even familiar things hold mysteries. In recent years, missions like China's Chang'e series and NASA's Artemis program have begun to explore the moon anew. Rovers, orbiters, and eventually humans will map its surface with unprecedented detail. But even with our growing knowledge, the moon remains aloof. It does not yield its secrets easily. It is ancient, yes, but not inert. Silent, yes, but not empty. And so we continue, not with conquest, but with reverence. Long before telescope, spacecraft, or scientific inquiry, the moon was already the subject of human fascination. Its cycles, dependable and serene, became some of the earliest clocks. Its waxing and waning, mysterious and rhythmic, offered both wonder and meaning. And in every corner of the ancient world, beneath countless skies, the moon was given stories. Imagine early humans gathered around fires, looking up at that luminous orb. In a world filled with natural forces they could not yet explain, the moon offered a familiar companion. Unlike the distant stars, it moved with deliberate grace. It changed shape. It disappeared and then returned again. It was alive, in a way. And so they gave it names, voices, and purpose. In Mesopotamia, one of the world's first civilizations, the moon was personified as the god Nana, also known as Sin. He was father to the sun god and the goddess of love and war, a powerful force whose crescent symbol adorned temples and royal iconography. Nana's temples in Ur and Haran were places of worship, not just to a god, but to the moon itself, a divine being who ruled the tides of fate. In ancient Egypt, the moon took on different forms. Thoth, the ibis-headed god of wisdom, was sometimes linked with the moon, representing timekeeping, writing, and knowledge. The moon helped mark the passing of months, and lunar calendars were central to religious observance. Even in death, the moon's phases were thought to reflect the soul's journey, disappearing into darkness and re-emerging into light. The Greeks gave us Selene, the beautiful goddess, who drove her silver chariot across the night sky. She was radiant and gentle, often depicted with a crescent crown. Her Roman counterpart, Luna, shared much of her mythology, and temples to Luna stood proudly in Rome. These lunar deities were revered not just as symbols of light, but as protectors of women, bringers of dreams, and keepers of secrets. In India, the moon was Chandra, a luminous god riding a chariot pulled by 10 white horses. Associated with the mind and emotions, Chandra was said to wax and wane as he recovered from a curse, his phases reflecting the spiritual and emotional cycles within us all. To this day, many Hindu festivals align with the phases of the moon, and its presence is believed to influence human behavior. The Chinese moon goddess Chang'e offers one of the most enduring lunar myths. Fleeing to the moon after consuming the elixir of immortality, she became a lonely resident of the night sky. Each mid-autumn festival, families look to the moon and remember her, honoring the reunion of family and the cycle of the seasons. The rabbit that keeps her company, visible in the dark patches of the moon's surface, pounds elixirs of longevity in eternal companionship. In the Americas, the moon held equally sacred status. The Inca saw it as Mama Quila, goddess of marriage and protector of women. The Maya used the moon to anchor their complex calendar systems, aligning ceremonies with eclipses and lunar cycles. In many indigenous North American traditions, the moon was a powerful grandmother figure whose guidance shaped the natural world. And in Africa, countless tribal stories reflect a living moon, one that listens, watches, and interacts with humanity. Some tales speak of a moon that fell to earth. Others speak of it being born from the sun's tears, or that it is a hole in the sky through which ancestral spirits pass. Every culture in every era has looked up and seen more than a lifeless rock. They saw meaning. They saw the divine. They projected onto the moon their fears, their hopes, their imagination. Lunar eclipses, in particular, evoked powerful responses. When the moon vanished or turned red, it was seen as an omen. In Babylon, priests kept detailed records of eclipses, attempting to divine political outcomes from their timing. In some cultures, people would bang drums or shoot arrows toward the sky to scare away whatever beast they imagined was devouring the moon. Even the very concept of months, those neat divisions of time we still use today, comes from the moon. The word month comes from munth. Early human civilizations marked time by its phases long before solar calendars became the norm. Farmers planted by it. Navigators charted by it. Lovers dreamed beneath it. The moon was, and still is, a mirror, not of light alone, but of us, our fears, our longing, our need to find patterns in chaos, stories in silence. We filled the moon with our myths not because it asked us to, but because it watched quietly and never told us we were wrong. There is something profound in that silence, in its refusal to change. Through generations of war and peace, birth and death, belief and doubt, the moon has remained. Even now, long after science has offered its explanations, those myths still breathe. They live in poems, in lullabies, in the hush that settles over the earth when the moon is full. Though it hangs far above, cold and silent, the moon is not a passive observer. Its presence has shaped the earth in ways both immense and intimate. It is more than a light in the night sky. It is a gravitational sculptor, a cosmic metronome, and perhaps the quiet hand that made life itself possible. The most visible of the moon's influences is the rhythm of the tides. Each day, the oceans breathe in and out under the moon's watchful pull. As the moon orbits Earth, its gravity draws the oceans into a slight bulge, a tidal bulge, that follows it like a soft whisper across the planet's surface. When Earth rotates beneath this bulge, we experience high tide. As the moon moves on, the tide ebbs and the waters recede. These oceanic rhythms are not mere curiosities. They are part of Earth's heartbeat. Tides oxygenate coastal waters, drive marine ecosystems, and influence the migrations of fish, turtles, and even birds. The moon's tidal forces stir the boundaries between salt and fresh water, land and sea, dynamic borders where many of life's earliest experiments took place. Indeed, some scientists believe that life on Earth may have depended on these very tidal rhythms. In the primordial shallows, tides exposed pools of organic rich water to sunlight and air, then reclaimed them with each rising wave. This pulsing exchange could have driven the chemistry needed to form the building blocks of life: amino acids folding, membranes forming, strands of primitive RNA assembling with the help of cycles as old as the moon itself. Without the moon, the tides would still exist, tugged slightly by the sun, but they would be gentle, inconsistent. The grand sculpting of coastlines, the rich tidal flats, the booming fisheries, all of it would be diminished, or perhaps would never have been at all. But the moon's influence doesn't end at the shore. One of its quietest and most crucial roles is stabilizing Earth's axial tilt. Earth's axis, the invisible rod it spins upon, is tilted at about 23.5 degrees. This tilt gives us our seasons, our variety of climate, our diversity of ecosystems. Yet, without the moon, this tilt could wander wildly over time. Gravitational nudges from the sun and the other planets might send Earth wobbling like a spinning top nearing its end. Such chaos would be catastrophic. Climate zones would shift unpredictably. Ice ages could appear and vanish erratically. Stable conditions for life, especially complex life, might never have emerged. But the moon, through its gravitational embrace, holds Earth steady. Its pull dampens our wobble, anchoring us in a gentle spin that has endured for billions of years. It's as if the moon is cradling the Earth, calming its restless movements, allowing life the stability it needs to grow and thrive. Even today, our biological rhythms are tethered to the moon. Though modern life often shields us from natural light, the moon's phases once governed sleep, behavior, and rituals. Some animals still breed according to lunar cycles. Coral reefs, for example, time their spawning to the full moon, releasing clouds of life into the sea under its silver light. For humans, the connection is more poetic, though no less powerful. Folklore speaks of lunacy, madness under the full moon. While science offers few clear answers, anecdotal whispers persist of strange dreams, of restlessness, of a stirring in the blood when the moon is high. Perhaps it is not madness, but memory, a deep ancestral recall of nights when moonlight was sacred, when its glow was the only illumination, and its timing the only calendar. And it was a calendar, long before solar timekeeping became dominant. The lunar cycle, about 29.5 days long, formed the basis for some of humanity's first attempts to organize time. Even now, many religious and cultural calendars are based on the moon. Ramadan begins with the sighting of the crescent. Easter aligns with the first full moon after the spring equinox. The Jewish calendar weaves lunar months into its ancient rhythm. In the East Asian tradition, lunar festivals mark the harvest, family reunions, and renewal. The moon has quietly ordered our lives long before clocks and calendars could speak. And still, it gives us more. When the moon aligns precisely between Earth and the sun, we experience a total solar eclipse, a momentary vanishing of daylight that reveals the sun's hidden corona and casts the world into a surreal twilight. The moon is just the right size and just the right distance to perfectly cover the sun from our view. This cosmic coincidence offers not only awe, but insight, allowing scientists to study solar activity and humankind to feel, briefly, the raw mechanics of the cosmos. Yet the moon's influence is not always gentle. Its very origin, born from a violent impact, reminds us of the chaos that forged our solar system, and its gradual retreat, about 3.8 centimeters per year, tells us that nothing, not even the moon's companionship, is eternal. Over immense time, the tides will weaken, the days will grow longer, the earth will spin more slowly, our nights will change, but for now, we are still tethered, still held. The moon remains a silent partner, subtle, faithful, and essential. Its touch is unseen, but its effects are everywhere. In the waves, in the seasons, in the steadiness of our spin, and in the rhythm of life itself. For countless millennia, the moon was beyond reach, an eternal presence in the sky, visible yet untouchable. It was a silent witness to human history, a constant companion in darkness, inspiring wonder and dreams. But the 20th century changed that forever. Driven by curiosity, competition, and the spirit of exploration, humanity set out to touch that distant light. It began with telescopes, powerful lenses that revealed the moon's craters, mountains, and plains. These glimpses transformed the moon from myth to world, a place of real substance and detail, each crater a scar of cosmic history. The desire to physically reach the moon became one of the great adventures of modern times. Early robotic missions in the 1950s and 60s paved the way, sending back grainy images and measuring the surface. Yet the real breakthrough came on July 20th, 1969, when Neil Armstrong's foot touched lunar soil and the first words uttered from another world echoed through the airwaves. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. This moment marked not only a technological triumph, but a profound shift in human perspective. For the first time, we had left the cradle of Earth to stand on another celestial body. The moon, once a distant dream, became a place where humans had walked, collected samples, and left footprints. Those footprints, delicate and unchanging, remain on the dusty surface, preserved in a vacuum where wind and rain do not erase them. They remind us of a brief moment when humanity expanded its horizons and touched the unknown. The Apollo missions, 6 in total to land humans on the moon, brought back hundreds of kilograms of rocks and dust, opening a new chapter in science. These samples revealed the moon's volcanic past, its ancient formation, and the way it had preserved the early solar system story. Yet beyond science, the moon landing resonated deeply in culture and imagination. It inspired art, music, literature, and a renewed sense of possibility. People everywhere looked up at the moon with new eyes, seeing not just a light in the night, but a testament to human courage and ingenuity. Since those historic landings, missions to the moon have continued, robotic explorers mapping its surface, searching for water ice in shadowed craters, and planning for future outposts. International interest has grown, with space agencies and private companies envisioning lunar bases, mining operations, and even tourism. The moon is poised to become a new frontier, a stepping stone for journeys to Mars and beyond. Yet despite all these advances, the moon retains its mystery. There are quiet places, deep craters, and dark shadows, where sunlight has not reached for billions of years. There are questions about its geology, its potential resources, and its future role in human exploration. And through it all, it remains a symbol, a reminder of our past, a guide for our future, and a source of quiet beauty. As we gaze upward tonight, we see the moon, familiar yet distant, ancient yet ever new, a silent guardian, a cosmic mirror, and an eternal companion on our journey through the stars. Throughout the ages, the moon has inspired countless artists, poets, and dreamers, its pale glow serving as a canvas for human creativity and emotion. Its shifting light has stirred the soul, inviting reflection, longing, and sometimes melancholy, all beneath its serene and steady gaze. In poetry, the moon is a timeless muse. From the ancient verses of Sappho and Levi to the romantic lines of John Keats and Emily Dickinson, poets have captured the moon's quiet magic, its ability to illuminate the night and mirror the inner world of human feelings. The moon symbolizes mystery and change, beauty and solitude, a distant lover or a silent confidant. Visual artists have also been drawn to the moon's ethereal presence. The pale crescent and full orb appear in paintings across centuries and cultures, sometimes as a symbol of femininity, sometimes of the divine. Impressionists like Claude Monet captured its gentle glow on water. Surrealists like Salvador Dali used the moon's dreamlike quality to explore the subconscious. It hangs in the background of countless landscapes, a silent witness to human history and nature's eternal rhythms. Music, too, echoes with lunar inspiration. Composers like Debussy in Clair de Lune crafted melodies that seem to float in moonlight, delicate and soothing. Folk songs and lullabies often call upon the moon's light as a source of comfort in the dark. Even modern music continues this tradition, weaving lunar imagery into melodies that evoke wonder and calm. Beyond art, the moon's cycles have influenced rituals, calendars, and festivals around the world. It marks time for harvests and holidays, births and rites of passage. In many traditions, the moon is connected with femininity, cycles of growth and renewal, and the unseen forces that guide life's rhythms. In more recent times, the moon has become a symbol in popular culture, appearing in films, books, and dreams of space travel. From the poetic to the fantastical, it represents exploration, mystery, and the possibility of new worlds. This enduring presence reminds us that the moon is not only a celestial body, but also a profound part of the human experience, an ever-present companion in our collective imagination. As we look ahead, the moon stands not only as a reminder of our past achievements, but as a beacon guiding humanity's future. It is poised to become the first stepping stone in our journey deeper into the cosmos, a gateway to worlds beyond our own. Plans for lunar bases, once the stuff of science fiction, are rapidly becoming real possibilities. Scientists and engineers envision habitats where astronauts could live and work for extended periods, conducting research and preparing for missions to Mars and beyond. These outposts would rely on the moon's resources, water ice hidden in shadowed craters, minerals in its soil, to sustain life and fuel exploration. The moon's low gravity and proximity to Earth make it an ideal launching pad for spacecraft destined for distant planets. By establishing infrastructure there, we could reduce the cost and complexity of space travel, opening new frontiers for discovery, and perhaps one day, colonization. Yet this future raises profound questions. How will we balance exploration with preservation? The moon is a world of fragile beauty and scientific value, its surface bearing the footprints of human history and the records of the solar system's earliest days. As we venture back, we must tread lightly, honoring its silent presence and the stories it holds. Moreover, the moon's future is intertwined with international cooperation. Space agencies around the world are collaborating, sharing knowledge and resources to unlock the moon's potential. This shared endeavor reflects a hopeful vision that beyond borders and conflicts, humanity can unite under the pale light of our closest celestial neighbor. In the quiet of the night, as the moon continues its eternal dance with Earth, it invites us to dream, to explore, to imagine new possibilities. It reminds us that while we are small in the vastness of space, we are capable of great courage and wonder. The moon's future is not yet written. It waits for our footsteps, our choices, and our dreams. And in its steady glow, we find both comfort and inspiration, a silent promise that the journey is just beginning. The moon's surface is a landscape of contrasts, a silent record of billions of years etched in stone and dust. As we peer closer, we find its features both familiar and strange, each telling a story of cosmic collisions, volcanic activity, and the slow dance of time. One of the most striking aspects of the lunar landscape is its craters, vast, round scars left by meteoroids and asteroids that have pelted the moon over eons. Unlike Earth, the moon has no atmosphere to burn up these visitors, no weather to erode their marks. As a result, the craters remain sharp and distinct, frozen in time. Some are small and shallow, while others stretch hundreds of kilometers across, their rims towering like ancient mountain ranges. Among these craters, the largest is the South Pole Aitken Basin, a colossal impact site nearly 2,500 kilometers wide and over 13 kilometers deep. It is one of the oldest and most mysterious features on the moon, revealing clues about the violent early days of the solar system. Between the craters lie vast dark plains called maria, Latin for seas. Though once thought to be oceans, these are actually ancient lava flows, cooled and solidified billions of years ago. The maria are smoother and less cratered than the highlands, their dark basaltic rock contrasting with the lighter, heavily cratered terrain around them. The largest of these lunar seas, Mare Imbrium, spans more than 1,100 kilometers, a vast black canvas against the moon's bright surface. These plains hint at a time when volcanic activity reshaped the moon's face, flooding basins and covering older features beneath layers of molten rock. Covering the entire surface is the regolith, a blanket of fine dust and broken rock fragments formed by relentless micrometeorite impacts and solar wind bombardment. This layer varies in thickness from just a few meters in younger regions to more than 20 meters in the ancient highlands. Walking across this dusty terrain is like traversing the memory of the moon's history, each grain a tiny fragment of cosmic time. The regolith is also a challenge and a resource for future explorers. Its fine particles can be abrasive and cling to equipment, yet it holds valuable materials like oxygen and metals that could support human life and industry on the moon. These features, the craters, maria, and regolith, compose a landscape both harsh and beautiful, ancient yet ever-present. They invite us to study, to explore, and to dream beneath the soft lunar glow. The moon's environment is unlike anything on Earth, a place of profound silence and stark extremes where day and night stretch for weeks and the absence of atmosphere leaves it exposed to the raw forces of space. Without an atmosphere to scatter sunlight or carry sound, the moon is enveloped in perfect silence. Imagine standing on its surface. There is no breeze, no rustle of leaves, no distant call of birds. Even the softest footsteps are muted by the dusty regolith beneath your feet. Sound simply cannot travel here. This silence is absolute and total, a quiet so deep it seems to hold the weight of the cosmos itself. The moon's days and nights each last about 14 Earth days, creating long periods of sunlight followed by equally long darkness. When the sun rises, the landscape slowly warms, sunlight creeping over crater rims and illuminating the barren plains. Temperatures soar, reaching nearly 130 degrees Celsius, scorching and intense. Then, as the sun sets, the temperature plunges drastically, falling to nearly minus 170 degrees Celsius in a cold lunar night. This vast temperature swing shapes everything on the moon's surface, from the behavior of lunar dust to the design of spacesuits and habitats needed to protect explorers. Without an atmosphere, the moon is also vulnerable to cosmic radiation and solar winds, streams of charged particles blasting through space. On Earth, our magnetic field and thick atmosphere shield us from much of this radiation. On the moon, it is unfiltered and relentless, posing serious challenges for future human explorers. Shadows on the moon are another feature of note. In some craters near the poles, sunlight never reaches the floor. These permanently shadowed regions are among the coldest places in the solar system, colder even than Pluto. These eternal shadows harbor frozen reservoirs of water ice, a precious resource that could sustain future lunar missions. The moon's low gravity, just 1/6 that of Earth, means that movements are lighter, jumps higher, and falls slower. Astronauts on Apollo missions marveled at this sensation, bounding across the surface with a graceful, almost dance-like quality. This unique gravity will shape how we live and work on the moon in the years to come. Despite its harshness, the moon's environment holds a strange beauty. The black sky above, dotted with countless stars, feels close and vast all at once. The Earth hangs large, a vibrant blue and white marble, rising and setting like a second moon. It is a landscape that invites awe, reflection, and a sense of peaceful solitude. As we draw this journey to a close, it is comforting to pause beneath the soft, silver light of the moon, a silent guardian in the night sky, watching over us just as it has for billions of years, from the mysteries of its formation to the footsteps left by humankind. The moon remains a timeless companion, a source of wonder, reflection, and peace. We began by exploring the moon's ancient birth, a cosmic dance born from collision and creation. In the fiery aftermath, a new world took shape, destined to become Earth's steadfast partner. This story of origin, set against the vastness of space, reminds us of the extraordinary processes that shape our universe, forces of chaos and harmony intertwined. As we moved forward in time, we discovered the moon's surface, marked by cratered scars and vast dark plains called Maria. each a chapter in its long and silent history. These features tell tales of meteoric bombardments and volcanic outpourings, of celestial events preserved in rock and dust, waiting patiently for curious eyes to uncover their secrets. We contemplated the fine regolith that blankets the lunar landscape, a layer both delicate and enduring, formed from countless impacts and cosmic winds. This dust, seemingly insignificant, holds the memories of the solar system's earliest days and the promise of future exploration. The moon's environment, harsh and unlike our own, shaped by silence, extremes of temperature, and the absence of atmosphere, revealed a world both unforgiving and profoundly beautiful. Its long days and nights, the chilling shadows hiding ice, and the gentle pull of low gravity paint a picture of a place unlike any other, a place where human footsteps echo in stillness and the stars feel achingly close. Beyond the scientific and physical, the moon has been a source of inspiration and imagination throughout human history. It has been muse to poets, painters, and musicians, a symbol of mystery, change, and possibility. It has shaped cultures and rituals, marking time and life cycles, and continues to stir our dreams of the unknown. The journey of humanity to the moon, our historic landings, the rocks brought home, and the footprints left behind, stands as a testament to curiosity, courage, and the spirit of exploration. It reminds us of what we can achieve when we dare to reach beyond our own world. And as we look to the future, the moon calls us still. It beckons as a gateway to the stars, a place where new adventures await. With careful stewardship and bold vision, it may become a home away from home, a foundation for humanity's path among the stars. Tonight, as you listen and the moon continues its steady orbit, allow yourself to feel the calm and quiet it offers. Imagine the gentle lunar glow, the cool, serene surface, and the peaceful silence of this distant world. Let your thoughts drift with the slow dance of the earth and moon, their endless celestial embrace. Let your breath slow, your mind ease, and your body relax. May the calm of the moon's quiet light bring you rest, and may your sleep be deep and peaceful, carrying you softly into the night under the watchful glow of the silver orb above. Good night.